Hello. Hi. Oh, wow. You guys are all here already. I love it. I love it. Hi, Carol. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Donna. Hi, bye. Awesome. Awesome. Carol. Did I say Carol? Carol and Sharon. Nice to have you all here. How are you all doing? I was just thinking that the last class I taught in person was March 10th, and many of you were there. That was Tuesday the 10th, and that's the day that the hospital told me we were going to cancel for 4 weeks. And then, of course, that night they shifted and said it would be this whole session. So this is actually the fourth week, which is crazy. Time just flies because we had class on the 10th, and then we've been virtual ever since. So we practiced together physically the 10th, and then on the 14th, 17th, and then 24th, and now 31st. Crazy. Getting all my stuff ready. Yeah, I'm doing well. It's interesting because I actually feel more busy than I was before all of this. Um, I'm stranded with my manager, it seems, my husband, and we have been filming. So I'm filming a lot of videos, and I'm actually filming cooking videos. I'm not sure if I know I've mentioned it, but I'm not sure if you all know that. I teach cooking classes, and I just taught a class at Torrance Memorial in February. And every year I teach a class to caretakers, people who are caring for others. And I share very nutrition based food, clean, healthy, easy to prepare, and nutrient dense. So I've been working on many of the recipes that I cook often for myself and that I share in my cooking classes. So I've been in the kitchen cooking. And so I'm going to have some really great recipes to come up. So a couple of soups, and then I'm going to do some oatmeal cookies. I made oatmeal cookies yesterday, and today I'm going to do two different versions of vegan and regular. And then I'm going to do chia pudding, which is one of my favorite really healthy things to eat and to make. And then some soups, I think I mentioned that. And so, yeah, I'm working on that. And then, of course, yoga. So, a lot of yoga. Hi, Christine. So, yeah, I'm doing some videos. And then I've been doing a lot of webinars. It seems there's so many webinars, and I like to follow doctors. So, Dr. Fishman has had 3 weeks in a row on Mondays. He's had a webinar for us on COVID-19 and how to practice safe, and then how to teach safe for those who are working with students. Well, not a lot of people are working in person anymore. At this point, everyone's going virtual. And today I have another class with Dr. Fishman. So I have my yoga for osteoporosis training with him today at 2:30, and he's going to go over the second set of poses, the other 12 that I think it was 2 years ago that he shared those. So, hi, Judy, number 2. Hi, George. No sunglasses on your smiley face today, George. Um, so yeah, I'm just riding the waves, and I try not to look at too much news. I do look every now and then, and when I do, I feel this tightness in my chest because there's emotional aspects, and our emotions that begin in our brains go into our physical body and they sit in our tissues. And that's why a lot of my focus virtually teaching yoga has been about releasing that tension, whether it's through breath work or through physical asana and stretching to release that tension. So that's my focus. And yeah, you can't hear me? Can you guys all hear me? Judy said she can't hear me. Let me see. I know on my computer I had my volume. Is that better? I need to put glasses on for this. I can't see up close. Okay, there. So is that better? I have my microphone in. I have my microphone here. Does it sound better when I talk directly into it? Okay, Sharon can hear me. Carol, yes. Hi, Rosanna. Present, present. Remember that when we would get roll call and you had to say that you were here? That's funny. Um, yeah. So anyway, how are the rest of you doing? Carolyn, oh, I'm so happy you're able to join all the time, Carolyn. Um, how's everybody doing though? It's interesting. I just realized, I think Sunday and then yesterday, that my Scotland trip that I was taking May 5th to the 13th is probably, I mean, I'm going to say it's not happening, although I don't really commit fully to saying not. And so that's interesting. And I don't know, I watch my reactivity, because if I just go with the flow with things, then I have less reactivity, and I have less negative feelings or emotions attached to it. Hi, Lauren. Lynn. So nice to have you all here. And then I don't know if you noticed my husband. I was saying earlier, some of you that just came on, I feel like I'm stranded with my manager. No rest for the weary. So he is just so, well, he believes in me, which is a really beautiful thing, I know. And then he is so on board to make everything as spiffy as possible. So on the links to my sites or to my classes, there are new thumbnails he created, different colors with the text on there. So yeah, and he does websites and apps. So he's a very technical guy, very smart guy. Hi, Michael. Oh, Lynn is waving. Yeah. So on that note about waving, Lynn is waving. I've been doing some Zoom calls in my yoga therapy world, just in different capacity. And I would like to, I'm going to keep these 6 classes that I have live. And then I want to create Zoom calls where I can actually see you. I taught a class last Thursday to a group that I'm in, a meetup group. I have my own meetup group called Aging Gracefully with Yoga. If any of you would like to join that, you could go on meetup.com and look for groups. And mine is called Aging Gracefully with Yoga. And if you join that, once a month, I host a free class from 5 to 6 on Thursday, different dates throughout the month. And I did a Zoom class, and there was like 13 of us on that Zoom class, and I was able to see everyone. And so that was really nice to be able to be more interactive. So go to Meetup Aging Gracefully with Yoga, join that, and you could practice with me in a few weeks. And then I'm going to create other options for us to meet up. Nancy, hi. Oh, wow, great. So Christine is saying that she planted her vegetables in her garden. Yeah, I was weeding 2 or 3 days in a row, just trying to uh, utilize any kind of stress hormones that are in my body, metabolize them, and be out in nature and feel the dirt. And I think I mentioned that I've had volunteer kale this year, a lot of it. I mean, if I was going to talk about individual plants, I think I've had 30. Um, so I'll get started with yoga in a second. And so, yeah, trying to go outside, listen to the birds, try to connect to nature. And then vitamin D, which is actually really a hormone or acts as a hormone as well. Um, it needs to be synthesized with sunlight. So it's really important to get some sun exposure. And actually, I think I'll post that question to Dr. Hyman about skin cancer risk, vitamin D synthesis in the sun, and what's the magic number to be exposed without a barrier of some sort, like a sunscreen, for to get the maximum benefits. Angie, okay, wow. I don't know if this is your first time with us here. I mean, in this format. Cam, I saw that you signed up, Cam. I am so happy to have you. Okay, perfect. So let me get started. And so great to have you all here. Really, I even though I don't see you, I still feel there with you. So because we are at home and you're going to look at the screen, and you guys are a 2D aspect to that, right? the periphery that's around you can pull you away from the moment. So what's really important in this virtual world when we practice is a lot of somatic awareness, a lot of body awareness. So throughout class today, throughout my classes, I'm going to sprinkle in some real key ones. So can you do this to begin with, but really strongly push your fingers into each other. So it could be pointer finger or any of the fingers. So this is going to fire up your some sensory cortex, your homunculus in your brain. We're stimulating a lot of neurons in the brain, so that's really going to keep you right here, really focused. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I'm not sure if you guys have shoes on. I would love if you didn't have any shoes on when we practice. And especially when you're at home, if you could have no socks. First of all, because I can't see you, and safety is my key focal point with yoga, especially the physical asana. And so if you could have no shoes on or socks, then you can really allow that sensory aspect of the soles touching the floor, soles of your feet. So if you can right now, press your big toes into the floor. The big toe tips, let me see, I hope my feet are clean. Okay. Oh, the big toe tip and the mound of the toe. So press that into the floor. Try the right side, try the left side. Really push it into the, if you have your shoes on and you didn't want to take them off, slippers, whatever, push that really strongly. And you should feel activation all the way up into your hip joint when you do that. Your entire lateral chain fires up. So just that simple act of pressing foot or toe into the floor communicates through many neurons and muscles to turn on. And so this is a way for us to take this floating away or taking us from this expanded awareness and kind of bringing us a little bit to here. Okay, so that's going to be a key for today, is whenever if you have a cat or a dog or something nearby that distracts you, this is going to kind of bring you back to where you are, and then the toes into the floor as well. Okay, all right. So let's begin with a breathing, a pranayama, a breath. This is Samavriti, I believe it's called. And that would mean same. So it's going to be a square breath. It's going to be 4, 4, 4, and 4. And I will count, and I would love for you to count as well. The more you can give your brain to do, then the less you're going to be distracted, right? So come into a comfortable seat. And the important aspect of doing this pranayama, the extra pranayama we're doing, is that we need our respiratory system to be strong. And so there's one aspect, which is the muscular component, the muscles between the ribs, outside the ribs, all the whole respiratory muscles. That's one aspect. You've also got the diaphragm aspects, the secondary respiratory muscles, and then the primary muscles. And then inside your lungs, we have these big tubes going to small tubes, and finally to little sacs, the alveoli, where the gas exchange takes place. Oxygen comes in, carbon dioxide and metabolites of cellular respiration leave the body. And so we want to think about drawing this breath in, and when we exhale, try to make that a smooth transition as well. So today, that's what Dr. Fishman was mentioning last night in the webinar on strengthening our bodies, our immune system, and some tips for dealing with COVID-19. And so thinking about your lungs as this is the time right now to actually strengthen them and to think about those little sacs when they fill up with breath. You don't want to exhale really quickly. You want to slowly let the air go from these big filled up sacs into tiny little tubes to then go into larger tubes to come out. The other thing I learned was that when the mouth is open and the breath comes in, it doesn't always mean that the breath will go to the lungs. The breath might go down into the esophagus and might go to other areas, maybe even up into the nasal, into the sinus cavity. When we're breathing through the nose and the mouth is closed, that actually sets up the pathway for the breath to come into the lungs. So keeping the mouth closed, of course, if you have, this is time for us to practice strengthening the muscles of respiration, strengthening our awareness on slowing down the inhalations, slowing down the exhalations, and also to equalize the breath. During stress, our breath rate and heart rate are affected. So, this is a way to bring you into a place of harmony and balance, which is where the body then can heal and repair and restore. Okay, so sit all the way back. That was the why we're doing this. I want you to bring that intention with you into this is why you're doing this. Sit all the way back into your chair and then closing your eyes, come into a comfortable position. You could have your back supported by the chair here, or if you move away from the back of the chair, this will actually allow for some backward expansion of the body as well. So I want you to choose what is most comfortable for you. Okay. Closing your eyes, bringing your awareness to your breath and noticing what you notice. So just notice the pace of your breath. And then are you able to go into your chest and sense your heart beating? See if you can feel your heart beating. And if you're able to detect this is actually a really great thing to do during these precarious times, is to tap into the sense and the feel of your heart. And you'll notice once you get a little more comfortable and the relationship of feeling inside your body becomes more pronounced for you, you'll start to notice when your heart is accelerated, especially during the stress response when we're taking in through what we see, hear, feel, smell, taste. You'll start to notice how that has this direct effect on the pace of your heart. So we're going to go through our square breathing. I'll count you through. I'll count four. Four to inhale, four to hold, four to exhale, and four to hold the exhale out. So let's take a breath to clear. Inhale and exhale. And let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue on your own, counting in your mind. Keep your mind busy with counting. If this feels really comfortable for you, if you'd like to add on 5, 5, and 5. Finish up 2 more rounds. When you finish your last round, let the breath go back to its natural pace. Bring your awareness back to your heart. See if you can sense the heart beating. And then notice the power of the heart. Does the heart seem relaxed? Noticing the energy of the heart. Does it seem relaxed? Or does it seem like it's really working a little hard? Bringing your awareness to slow down the heart. Bring your awareness up to your eyes as you gently allow your eyes to blink open. So that square breath can be really lovely for helping to stabilize and equalize the breath pattern, to make the inhale and exhale even, and to take your time to fill up your air sacs slowly, and then to let the air leave the body slowly. I'd like to add one more thing if you're going to do this at home or teach this to somebody, is that you can actually use your hands. I spoke today about really grounding our awareness to this moment, to right here, to right now, and using this to fire up the brain to keep us really grounded, our energy, our mental energy grounded. So you could do this as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you're inhaling, holding, exhaling, and holding. And then if you were going to add more onto that, you could do the same thing. So when I do 5, 5, and 5, I'd start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's a really great way when the mental energy is escaping you, going to the future, to the fear, to the hopelessness. It's a great way to bring you back to this moment. Okay, let's go on to the floor. I'd like your spine to be up against the floor if that's available to you. And the hand position, you could start out here, really being careful that you don't elevate the shoulders when you come onto the floor, especially those of you with shoulder issues. There's a couple of you on here that have some issues in your shoulders, making sure that you don't elevate the shoulders. That's a protective maneuver or motion that comes into shoulders when the arm bone itself can't move around in the socket. Then the entire shoulder area lifts up and elevates. So the arms are out to the side, keeping the arms down low if you have shoulder issues. And if you don't, take your arms out pretty wide, really stretch your fingertips away to stretch as much of the muscles here as you can. And then coming into a bent arm position with the back on the floor. So let's go on to the floor to let that happen. Ooh. Okay. So if you have a chair, you could use a chair with your back all the way on the floor. If you don't have a chair, then just be on the floor. I have pillows. Put some pillows underneath your knees if you don't have a chair. Find something that's comfortable for you. Comfort is the important thing here. So find a position that you could come to so that you're grounding your physical energy into the floor. Yoga is about balancing our energy. So grounding your physical energy here on the floor, taking your arms out to the side. Legs in the chair, really nice for low back support, and then completely have the entire calf on the chair, taking the weight of the leg bones. This will be really nice, therapeutic for low back. Bringing your arms to the sides. And then I would suggest that we do the square breathing here. So I'll start off by counting, and
I think it would be really nice as well to use the fingers and the hands, unless that becomes too much for you to think about and that brings in something that would be not relaxing. If you feel okay, let's do the 4 count with the thumb touching each finger as you go. Whether you start with pointer, doesn't matter. Really just getting a nice sensory squeeze or firing up the brain here, firing up. So bring your awareness to your physical body. Feel yourself relax, letting go of any tension that you can in the body. Let it go, let it go. Make sure you're nice and comfortable. And then I'll do a couple of counts. I'll do a count of 4, 4, 4, and 4 just to get you started and then let you go to do this on your own. So take a big breath to clear. Inhale. Let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 3, 4. 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue on. Feel your body. Feel your breath. Feel your heart. Body yield or melt towards the floor. Let the muscles turn off that hold you up all day. Support you. Let them relax. Focusing on your breath. Feel on the exhale and the holding of the exhale out. That real heavy, grounded feeling as you release and let go. And then a few more rounds, counting equal, hold, exhale, hold. Touching your thumbs to your fingertips, feeling the weight of the body on the exhalation melt towards the floor as you let go of any holding of your body. Finishing up your last breath wherever you are. When you finish the breath, give the breath back to the body. Allow yourself to be breathed. Bringing your awareness to your fingers and to your toes. Just wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. And then bending the ankles and the wrists. Bringing that movement up into your knees, into your elbows. Contracting your core, pushing your belly to your spine. Bring your knees into your body. And then rock side to side. Take the right ankle over the left ankle and crisscross. Reach around the outside of your leg, so not on the inside, the outside, to grab a hold of your feet. Pull your feet to the sides, and then come back down onto the floor, pressing your ankles in towards each other. And so most of you will be able to do this. Some of you will not. If you're not able to do this, just grab your knees into your chest. Very relaxing for the lower spine here, pressing the low back into the floor. And then this gives a little extra flexion to the lumbar spine if you're able to cross the legs. Let's switch the other. So now you're going to take the left ankle on top of the right ankle, reaching around the outside. For some of you, you may need to lift your upper body off the floor. It makes it a little easier to grab, holding onto your feet or your toes, whatever you could grab, and then pulling the feet and the legs towards your body. Also, this stretches the glute area, flexes the lower lumbar, and then I actually feel it in my external rotators. You're in an external rotation here, so it's a little stretch there in that muscle. The external rotators, one of them being the piriformis, which can cause some sciatica issues if it impinges that sciatic nerve. So there's a lot of sitting happening now, so this is just a nice thing to do. And then let's roll on to the right side. We're going to come up safely. You're going to push your left hand into the floor, lead with your left shoulder and not your head to come all the way up. So we're going to prepare our space to practice. I would love it if you had a block. And if you do not have a block, a towel will do. And a towel, I'd like you to have a bath-sized towel, or I guess it could be a beach towel. And when we do it like a block, we're really going to fold it pretty small so that you can, I want this sensation between the knees when we use it. You're also going to need a strap. So this could be a belt. This could be a robe, tie for your robe. This could be a towel that you roll up, or it could be whatever. Be creative. I really would love it if you had those two props. And if you don't, a towel or two towels will do, because we could use one for the feet and one for the block. And then, of course, one for your head. Okay, so let's come all the way down onto the floor. And since this is thoracic, so to come down onto the floor, you're going to turn to the side, reaching your hand away and coming all the way down onto your back. Let's warm up the body here. Take the hands down alongside the body. I'd like you to undulate your spine here. So you're going to In a neutral position, the low back is away from the floor, and the middle back and the back of the head are touching the floor. So the low back will be away here. Take an inhale. As you inhale, let your belly rise up a little more. Let the low back come away from the floor. Tushy stays on the floor. And then as you exhale, contracting your core, draw in your pelvic floor, contract your core like it's a sea anemone, moving towards the center, pushing down towards the floor, flatten the low back into the floor, flatten and the tailbone points away from you. Inhale, you let your low back come away from the floor. And then as you exhale, you contract your pelvic floor, your diaphragm, your obliques, all your core muscles pressing down, flattening the low back into the floor. Inhale to let the low back come away from the floor. Tushy stays on the floor though. And then exhale, flatten the low back. Imagine that your feet are on scales and the scales register 0. So there's no pressure of the feet pressing into the floor. Let this be the trunk. Let this be the pelvis that goes through an anterior and a posterior tilt. This align the spine. And I know it because I could feel it happening in my own body as I'm dealing with a little pelvic issues and hip issues from my surgeries and the issues in my tissues. Inhaling to come up, exhale, let the low back flatten into the floor. Bring your hands down, place your hands behind your head, elbows are out to the sides. Inhale here. As you exhale, contract your core, flatten your low back, lift your upper body off the floor, elbows are out to the side. Inhale to lower. Low back comes away from the floor. Exhale, contract your core, flatten your low back, lift your upper body. Inhale, low back comes away from the floor. The feet are registering 0 on a scale. If they were each on a scale, you come up, inhale to lower. Let's do a little rotation now. As you elbow down, lift your left elbow up towards your right knee, and then inhale to lower. Exhale, contract your core. Left elbow stays down, right elbow comes up. Inhale to lower. Right elbow stays on the floor. Left elbow reaches over to the outside of the right knee. Inhale to lower. Exhale, left elbow stays down. Right elbow towards the left knee. And continue with this. The exhale contracts the core, lifts the upper body off the floor, keeping the opposite elbow on the floor. One more. Bringing yourself down. We're going to continue with an individual each side. We're going to do like the foot is going to come away from the floor. So if you could look at my foot, when my foot comes away from the floor, it's barely. So let's just do a little practice here with barely letting mostly the heel come away from the floor. So even though the toes don't touch the floor anymore, the heel is away from the floor a little bit more than the toes. And this is really going to get into that psoas and then that transverse abdominis. You could even take your fingers, press your fingers into your lower belly as you do this to feel that transverse abdominis and whatever side you're working on to feel that is your deep transverse abdominis, very deep abdominal muscle, important for balance, for alignment, for posture stabilizing the pelvis. And then there's also that psoas, which is attached onto your lumbar vertebra and your inner thigh. So I want it to be that your legs, you feel like they're so heavy when you lift them off the floor to really get deep into the body here and to not use the quadriceps to do this. One of the quadriceps, the rectus femoris, will be in action, but let's try to make this be psoas, rectus femoris, and not too much here in the quadriceps. Taking your, and let it be transverse abdominis as well. Take your hands back behind your head if they're not there already. Elbows are out to the side. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, just let the right foot float off the floor as you lift your body straight up towards the ceiling. Inhale to lower. Exhale, let the left heel float away from the floor. Let the leg be heavy. Inhale to lower. Exhale, right. Feel the pressure of the sacrum, which is in the top of your pelvis. Feel that pressing into the floor to help to stabilize the pelvis as you do this. You exhale to rise. You inhale to lower. Gaze is straight up towards the ceiling. Elbows are out towards the side. Let's do one more to the right. Inhale. And then one more to left. And then bring yourself all the way down. So this is the class that I teach, 2 of these a week, 11 to 12:15, Tuesday, Thursday. These are definitely my stronger classes. So a lot of strength work here. And so you do what's appropriate for you. Okay? All right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to one of the first poses, which is really it's a forward fold. And because we're on the floor, it's very protective for the spine. So for with osteoporosis, this is a safe forward fold. Let's bring the left knee in to warm up the hamstring, which is the muscle we're going to be stretching is the hamstring. So you're going to inhale to unbend the knee, exhale to bend. Moving towards completely straight leg. I said towards it. You don't have to be straight. You're moving towards it. Okay? Then you're going to reach over, get your strap, and you're going to take your strap around your, so just a little above the arch, a little above the arch towards the toes. Then you're going to hold on to your strap, one piece on one side, one hand, one in the other. And if you need to use a towel, get a towel and use a towel. If you'd like to take your right leg straight, straightening that right leg, let's begin here. Deep breaths down to the belly. Pull the leg towards you at the same time as you push it away from you. Push that right foot into the floor, right toes are up towards the sky. Draw that left knee back towards over your head. Feel that strong stretch. Then push your belly towards your spine. Feel your sacrum pressing into the floor. Draw the leg back towards your head and push the leg away from you with the muscles of the leg. So firm up your upper thigh muscles, hugging the bone, pushing the bone towards the foot part of the mat. And then let's go ahead and release. Take the strap in both pieces or the towel, whichever you have, and then keep your leg nice and straight. Now, when my leg goes out to the side, when your leg goes out to the minute it starts to go forward, you need to stop. So you're letting your leg go over to the side until you can put your left hand on the to counterbalance to the right. Really contract the pelvis here. Contract the core to support the pelvis. Keep the pelvis stable and don't let the pelvis fly off. Deep breaths down to your belly. And then let's bend that knee, bring that knee back. Place it on your belly. Bring your right leg in, and you're going to inhale and exhale to warm up the hamstring of that right thigh. Inhale, exhale. And then bring that foot up to straighten that leg. Let's take your strap, and then you're going with your body, come as close as you can to put it around your foot. Don't go like this. You want to be able to get pretty close to your feet. You need all that flexion in your torso, your hip, your body, in order to be able to cut your toenails, get yourself dressed. So let's really not let go of that stuff and work on that every day, the way we move, your range of motion. Take your leg into a straight position, straighten that left leg. You're going to pull that right leg towards you, firming up the right thigh. So really hug this femur bone with the muscles of the upper right leg. You're hugging the bone and pushing the bone away from you towards the foot part of your mat. As you draw the leg towards you above your head, press your left foot into the floor, left toes are up towards the sky. Really strong here. Pull the leg into the socket and pull it back towards your head. Feel that deep stretch behind your thigh. Breathe down to your belly. One more breath. Take the knee, go ahead and bend. Take the and come down the strap a little more so your elbow's closer to the floor. And then you start to take your leg out to the side. Don't let your leg go forward. Reach your leg out to the side. bring your right leg or your right hand to support the weight of your leg. And then you really anchor down that left leg. That's really important. You anchor down your left leg. So contract your core, support your body here. Leg is up towards the wall behind you. Really activate that left leg, contract that core. Feel that stretch on the inner thigh. And then let's go ahead and bend that knee. Let's bring the leg out. So that was Supta Pada Gustasana 1, Supta Pada Gustasana 2, two of the poses. Let's go ahead and grab your block if you have one and place it between your knees. And if you don't have a block, you'll take a towel and fold the towel up to put the towel here. Then you're going to move the blanket from behind your head or the pillow or whatever you've placed behind your head. Remove that. Take your head and make sure your head is nice and long. Your neck is nice and long. And you have your chin moving down towards your chest. Take your arms down alongside your body. Let's walk your feet in towards your body. Let's do a little bit to warm up the back first. Let's inhale, the arms go overhead. Exhale, squeeze the block, lift the pelvis off the floor, let the hands come down alongside the body, and then inhale slowly to let the hands go back up. Exhale, contract your core, squeeze your block, move your knees away from you. Inhale to lower. Exhale to rise, squeezing the block. Turn the thumbs up towards the sky. This is nice for that shoulder joint, especially for those of you with issues in the shoulder. Look straight up towards the sky. Do not look towards the computer or the TV. Just look straight up towards the ceiling. Just listen to my voice. You don't want to turn your head side to side. And then on your next one, you're going to come up and stay up. Let your arms be down alongside your body. Squeeze your block and lift your body a little higher here. If you're able to tuck the shoulder blades closer towards the spine and the outer edges of your arms, the flesh of the arms, in to make your upper body a little more narrow, pressing, squeeze block, lift your pelvis as high as you can comfortably towards your face. If you can clasp, go ahead and clasp, pressing the arms into the floor. If the arms are straight, press them into the floor. If you'd like to bend the elbows, upper arm bones face each other, fingertips are up towards the sky, right alongside your waist, you could do that. Reach your rib cage away from the floor towards your nose. The weight is in the upper back, not in the head and neck. Squeeze the block here. This can help. Dr. Fishman was telling us this is good for herniated discs in the lumbar spine. Squeezing the block helps to stabilize the pelvis, getting the lower back into that extension, and it can actually help to correct some herniation in discs. Deep breaths here. One more breath. When we come down, we're going to come down really slow. So taking your arms out to the side and then allowing one vertebra at a time, starting at the very top, to come down onto the floor at a time. When you get towards the lower ribs, pop up onto your tippy toes. See if you could place the low back on the floor before the pelvis touches. And then come all the way down. Take your block out to the side. Let's lengthen the body here. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Reach out your hands, reach out your legs, and then reach the right hand away and slide the right foot away. So you're lengthening your whole right side. And then do the same thing on the left side. Feel your body gloves stretch. This feels delicious. Releasing tension, stretching the tissue of the body. And then bring yourself to bent knees. Roll onto your right side. And then leading with your left shoulder. All righty. So, bridge pose, of course, I held for longer than 30 seconds because it's such an amazing, so many levels of amazingness to the bridge pose on what it can do for our bodies. All right, let's come on to hands and knees. Take any tension out of the body. I would like you to focus here on the pelvic area. So top of your pelvis, I'd like you to focus on tilting the pelvis, on the Elvis Presley move. This right here, posterior and anterior tilt of the pelvis. It's really important. So when we're in the cat and cow, this is the part of the body we're moving. We're going to try to stabilize the thoracic or the rib cage and let most of the movement be here from the tail, from the pelvic area, from the tailbone to the lower ribs. All right. Come with your hands really wide. Your knees are really wide. Walk your hands forward so you have a lot of space here in your body. As you inhale, let your tailbone move up the back wall. And as you exhale, contract your core, pressing your belly up towards your spine. Let your tailbone point down the back wall. So think about the space from the ribs to the tailbone is where the movement is happening. Letting your pelvis tilt forward, letting your pelvis tilt back. And then bring yourself back to center. Walk yourself back. And then let's come all the way up. Take the wrists. Take your left hand straight. That's your right hand. Take your left hand straight. And you're going to bend your wrist. So really feel that real flexion there, that strength here. And then flip the hand up. And then doing the same thing with your right hand. Flex your wrist. Feel that beautiful stretch along the top here. And then the other way. A plank challenge. And some of you have been reporting that you're noticing strength in your body. I am noticing the strength in my body. And even on the days we don't practice together, I'm teaching 4 days a week. The days we don't practice together, I am doing my 1 minute plank challenge. And I've actually for myself added a side plank challenge because I've got some issues in my spine, little scoliosis in the upper spine because of my hip stuff. So let's do our plank challenge. This is a regular plank, making sure that you don't come to here. If you need to put the tushy in the air a little bit, that's okay. And then if a regular plank is a little too challenging, try a modified plank, putting the lower legs on the floor. And if the shoulders don't like this, you could come into a modified dolphin plank or a dolphin plank like this, okay? So I'm going to put the timer on for 1 minute. You don't have to look at the clock. I'll do it for you. Count your breaths. That's a really great way to see how strong you're getting. An inhale and an exhale counts as one. So count your inhale, then your exhale. And just do what you can, okay? If the wrists are really bothering you, you could come up onto fists for wrists. This is stacking the wrist. Let's take the left foot behind us and the right foot, bring them up and come into your plank pose. Reaching out your heels, reaching out of the crown of your head, and then contracting your core, push your belly up towards your spine. Really feel supported here in your belly, reaching out the crown of your head, reaching out the feet. Big breath. See the breath fueling all the muscles that need a. Push the pinky toes into the floor. On a little more if you're getting strong now. Have your feet pretty close together. And then try to lift one foot off the floor. Either for one whole breath or 2 breaths. Change, put the foot down and try the other foot, lifting the foot off the floor. Push your fingertips into the floor, and then let's go ahead and come down. Okay, that was a minute. So just see where you are. Take your hands really wide here. Let your forehead touch the. Come back. So the pelvis is hovering over the feet. Back is straight. Take one more breath. And then let's go ahead and come all the way up. Oh, doesn't that feel great? I love it. To me, that feels so good. Come all the way up here onto your knees or shins. So we're going to come to a standing position. So I'd like you to challenge yourself, for those of you that know that come up like this and it feels a little easy. If the right foot is the easiest foot for you, let's try left foot today. And then for those of you that are still a little shaky, stay with your strongest foot. Okay, so bring whichever foot forward that you'd like, whatever you're doing today, whatever's the best for you. Flip the back toes under, bring your body weight onto your standing leg. So you're really going to weigh up that standing leg, and then bring yourself forward and up. Perfect. Okay, we're going to use the chair and we're going to use the block. So grab a chair, and doesn't have to be a chair like this. Any chair will do. Grab a chair, grab a block. Let's just go ahead and come down to have a seat on the chair for a second. So come to sit in your chair, wherever you are. Back away from the back of the chair. So we're not going to stay on the chair here. Taking the hands down alongside your body. Really open the hands so the thumbs are going back away from you. Hands are down. This is mountain pose, Tadasana. So you're going to sit at the front. I want you to feel your sits bones. And then let's play a little bit with that pelvic tilt so that it is from the lower ribs down to the chair that's moving, right? If you'll notice, there isn't a whole lot of movement in the upper torso. If I were moving my upper body would look like that. I want this movement to be in the lower body. So I want you to be moving lower body from front to back. And you're going to feel in your sits bones, you're going to feel the body weight go to the front of your legs and to the back of your legs. So I can't watch you to correct you or to get you to do this. I just hope you can report to me later on if it's easy or not, and I'll think of other ways to kind of describe this. I'd like you to feel your body weight come forward and then feel your body weight go back, forward and back. And then bring your hands here into Tadasana mountain pose. Be nice and aligned here so you're not forward or back. The place that you feel the most pressure on the chair is in the very center of the tushy cheeks, the very top of the leg bone, the very back of the very center of your body. You're not forward at the front edge of your chair, and you don't feel it back near your tailbone. Take your hands down alongside your body. This is called Tadasana mountain pose. And then let's take an inhale here. A little chest extension, and then bring yourself back to center. So we're going to do one of the twists. Instead of doing it on the floor with the knee bending, I was able to ask Dr. Fishman last night about knee flexion. That's been anyway, so I'm very intrigued by that. So instead of doing the twisting on the floor, we're going to do a twist on the chair. And the important thing when we're twisting the trunk is that we have the body, we don't have this. You don't want flexion in your spine when you're rotating your spine. You really need a tall, nice, erect spine. So come to the side. You guys are going to be facing your left side. And so my back of my hand goes onto the chair. And then I want to keep my body weight coming straight down center. So I don't feel the body weight forward and I don't feel it back by my tail. I feel it straight down center. You're going to be nice and tall, so get length in your body. Contract your core. We've done a lot of core work today. Contract your core. And with this, I want you to rotate your lower ribs to the back of the chair, your middle ribs, and finally your upper ribs. Press your heart forward, slide your shoulder blades towards each other, and then push your belly button to your spine so your body weight goes directly on to the center of your right buttock. You are rotating to your left, and you're going to feel the weight go into your right center buttock, not to the forward edge of the right tushy. And then rotate, rotate, rotate. Push your heart forward. One more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. Very important to keep range of motion in your spine. Side, leg all the way up against the back of the chair, whatever you're in. And then if you have a chair that has handles, if your chair had arms here, come to where the arm is so you could press that right leg into the arm. because that bottom is what's going to actually give you the ability to then come into rotation. So you're your backhand onto the chair, nice and tall spine here. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, it's the low ribs that go to the back, the middle ribs, and finally the upper ribs all the way to the back of the chair. Pressing your belly button to your spine. Feel the body weight in that left tushy cheek, in the center of the tushy cheek, not all the way forward. So contract your core, push your belly button back, and then slide your shoulder blades towards each other, lower the shoulders, push the heart forward. Breathe down to your belly. So you try to have a neutral pelvis here, not an anterior pelvic tilt. Push your left big toe into the floor. And then take one more breath. So that's a variation of one of the twists from the first 12 poses. Okay, bring your legs together. Come to the very edge of your chair. Now, for those of you that are tall, it's a lot harder to come out of a low down chair. So just know that, so that if you have difficulties, okay? So you're gonna come all the way, and then you wanna make sure that your heels are not directly underneath if you have a right angle in your knee joint, it's a lot harder to come up to standing from that. So you're gonna bring your heels closer to your chair, your knees are together. You're gonna bring your hands out in front of you, inhale to come back, and then as you exhale, come forward, push your heels into the floor, just let your tushy come away from the floor a little bit, away from the chair a little bit. Don't let it come up too high. And then you're going to raise your arms up. Feel like you're holding a block here in your arms. Push your knees back. Make sure your spine is straight. So reaching your tailbone, point your tailbone down to the chair. Push your big toes into the floor. The right big toe, the left big toe. Then you're going to come a little lower if you can, but raise the torso up. Your spine is really long here. From the crown of your head to your tailbone, push your belly button to your spine. Reach your hands away from you. Your low belly is coming closer to the top thighs. So if you'd like to feel that you're coming a little lower with your torso towards your thighs, feel like you're holding a block in your hands. Very active upper arms. Push your big toes into the floor. Push your belly button to your spine. Tailbone down, and then look away from you, up, not down. Your gaze is not down. Keep your clavicle bones pointing up. Take one more breath. And then take your hands together and come to standing. So yeah, we just did double chair. Let me put this up a little bit. We did a double chair, so it was longer than 30 seconds, in case you're wondering. Yeah. So we're going to do some of the standing poses, and I'm not there to see you. I'm not going to do it near a wall. I know some people had difficulties, didn't have access to a wall. Let's take a block for those of you that have a little bit of a stronger practice and you know that that's you. And I'd also like a chair to be there for just in case. Or if you do have a wall that you're working with, be back near your wall. So you choose what's right for you. Then we're going to, if you have a chair, you're going to bring the chair over towards your right side. Your legs are going to be really nice and spread here. For those of you that have a little stronger practice, I'm going to have you take the block. Let's try the block behind us this time. Dr. Fishman was teaching it with the block behind, and I'd like to see how that works for you. So a really nice stance here. Take your right foot, point your right foot to the right. Keep that leg straight when you do this. And then put your left heel behind you. And then for those of you that maybe this feels a little too strong, be on the top of your chair. Just have your legs nice and straight here, and you don't have to bend down too far. So there's different levels here. You could do triangle up high, we could do triangle medium, or we could do triangle all the way in the block, okay? So pick what's appropriate for you and where you are. The important thing here is that left foot is very active. So it's the whole pinky toe edge of the left foot. A lot of energy comes straight down the back edge of that left leg, and the left big toe presses into the floor, and the left back heel. And then the bending is going to happen right here at the hip joint.
So you're going to take your arms, really strong arms here too. This is a really nice way to strengthen the whole upper body when we're doing this. Reach, reach, reach away from you. And then you let that lower right come closer to that top left. So the bend happens here at the hip joint. Feel that happen. You're going to feel a strong stretch here. Reach your right hand away. So the right hand doesn't go down, it goes up and away. And then you come down. Either you're having your hand on the top of your chair, you could put your hand onto your seat, or for those of you that can come all the way down, put your hand on your block. Reach your left hand over to your right side. Reach up and over just as long as you don't round. So my hand is not forward. My hand is exactly alongside my ear, reaching up and over to the right. Opening your heart forward. Push your belly button to your spine. Tailbone is down towards the inner left heel. Left toe edge of the foot in the floor. Breathing down to your, opening your heart up. See if you could look up towards the sky. Push your right foot into the floor and your left foot. Strongly pull that energy up into your body and then twist your trunk forward. Breathe down to your belly. Take one more breath. Bring your hand back up to a neutral position. Push your feet into the floor. Keep your arms straight. Keep your legs straight. And then allow your the lateral chain, your obliques, to contract to lift you up. That's very, very strong there. All right. Yeah, I guess you could tell I'm holding a little longer, trying to metabolize all these stress hormones in our bodies. Come all the way back to a neutral position. Take your block behind your left foot if that's where you're going to go with this. Take your left foot to the left. See how I'm picking my foot up? You see the arch in my foot, very active foot, active leg. And then you place the foot so that's lengthening the foot, and then my toes go onto the floor. So I lengthened my leg as my foot as I went, and I kept that leg straight. The right foot, you pick up the heel. I stay really straight in my right leg, taking my, and then when I come there, there's this. I don't know how well you guys could see that action that's happening in my lower leg. See that actioning there? That action? This is still a straight leg. Activate the pad where your foot is. Push into the right pinky toe edge, the right back corner of the heel, and then push that right big toe into the floor. That's important as well. The bend is going to occur here in that left hip joint as that low left belly comes closer here. Reach your hands away, and then also make sure that you're contracting your core, and so that you protect that low back. Reach away with your left hand. It goes up to the side and to the side. Bending at that hip joint, feel that left inner thigh stretch, and then you either come down onto the top of the chair, palm faces away from you, you come down onto the middle part, middle section, or you have that block behind your leg. So choose what's appropriate. The important thing here is that you spiral open to the front. The hand comes up, and then hand faces over to the left if that's appropriate for you. Push both feet into the floor, both big toes very active. The outside edge of that right leg is very active. Press the belly button to the spine, and the tailbone is towards the inner edge of that back right heel. You can let that low left belly come close to that top left thigh, and then rotate the trunk. Take one more breath. Keep your legs straight here. So don't bend the knees. Take your hand off the blocks and allow that right oblique to contract to lift you up. Okay, come all the way up. Take your legs, shake, shake, shake. So we may only have time for one more pose. Warrior two, we're gonna do warrior two. So let's take the legs really wide here. Bring the block. You do not need the block for this. Okay, legs are really wide. Chair or no chair. Chair is mostly there actually for balance if you feel very wobbly. Take the legs again into that position. Pick up your right toes. The right foot goes to the right, and then the left heel moves away from you. You're gonna do a couple little bends here. Notice that my torso goes straight down when I bend, and I don't go forward with my torso, okay? Take your hands up, inhale, bend, Exhale to come back. Inhale, let your torso go straight down as your arms come up, and then come down. Last time, come down, stay down. Active left leg. Lift the belly up, tailbone towards that right back, or that left back inner edge of the heel. And then that right knee is bent as deep as you can. How deep can you go that feels appropriate for you without losing the left leg? Left leg is strong. Look over your right middle finger. Push your right knee behind you. So don't let the right knee cave inward. Really reaching your arms away from you. Slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Lower your shoulders. Lift your chest. Bend your knee a little deeper. Activate that left arch. Push both big toes into the floor. Push your belly button to your spine, tailbone down. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. I'm hoping you guys are feeling a little more intensity with this, because I sure am. And I'm really trying to in my big movers. We're using a lot of big movers, the quads, the glutes, a lot of these big muscles in the lower body, getting them to work really hard here to metabolize anything in my body that is stored in my tissues from my thoughts or my stress or whatever's happening in life right now. And then also that acceleration of the heart rate, you feel that? So burning a little calories here as well. All right, burning through some of that emotional energy in the body. Let's take the left toes to the left. Activate that right foot. Let's do a little bit here warming up. You're going to inhale, bend the left knee. Left knee is moving behind you. Don't let the left knee cave in. Keep pushing the left knee. Inhale, exhale. Keep that right leg nice and straight. Don't let that right arch collapse. Last time, come into your pose. Lower the shoulders. Reach the hands away from you. Push the chest forward. Look over your left middle finger. Sink down as deep as you can without flattening that right arch. So push in that right edge of your foot. Activate your core. Push your belly button towards your spine, tailbone down towards the back inner right heel. Bending as low as you can. Push that left leg to the back. Don't let it cave in forward. Keep your torso directly above your pelvis. Like a flower is coming out of a flower pot. Don't let the stem be bent. Keep your spine nice and straight and long above your pelvis. Active legs, active lifting out of your pelvis. Take one more breath. And then you're going to exhale to come all the way up. All right. Well, that's all we have time for. Shake your body. So you're going to come down to your final rest pose. It could be legs on the chair. It could be lots of pillows underneath your knees. Blanket is going to go behind your head. Whatever feels appropriate for your body. If you have oils, now would be a good time to go get the oils. I'm not going to talk during this part. I'm going to play the music that we all love. And the meaning of these of this song and the mantra, the 8 repeated words, is actually describes all the qualities of, without being too woo-woo, consciousness or divine. I'll upload something on it so you guys could read for those of you that are interested. So come all the way down onto the floor, support your legs either with the chair or the floor. Bring the knees into the chest if you'd like to stabilize your spine, neutralize your spine before you come into your Shavasana. Ninameya kame. Govinde, Mukande, Mudare, Apare, Hariam, Kariam, Ninameya kame. Govinde, Mukande, Mudare, Apare, Hariam, Kariam, Ninameya kame. Govinde Mukande, Udare Apare, Hariyam Kariyam, 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 Ninameya Kame. So begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then roll your ankles and your wrists. Bringing your knees into your chest. Rocking side to side. Feel that low back gently press into the floor. And then roll all the way onto your right side, pushing yourself up to seated, leading with your left shoulder. We'll close with sound. We'll close with the Om sound, going through the ah, o, from an open mouth to a closed mouth. So the Om sound is usually not very loud. It's meant to be a real earthy, guttural type sound coming from the throat through the mouth, and the end, the is the lips touching. Breaking this into 3 sections. during your exhalation. Let's take the hands together, rubbing the hands together. And then bringing the thumbs to gently rest against the sternum bone. Sit nice and tall. Lengthen yourself from the crown of the head, lengthening your spine. Take a deep breath down into your belly. We bow to each other in namaste. Namaste. Thank you. I'm grateful for all of you showing up to practice with me. So thank you. Today, I focused a little more on longer holds. You may have noticed. Really good for strengthening the muscles that support the bones and stimulate the bones and stabilize the bones and move the bones. You're welcome. Molly. Oh, Molly's here too. Thank you, George. Yeah, so nice to have you all here. And, modify according to what your needs are. I'd say today definitely had some stronger holds in there. Get a chair, make it easy for you. And because we're at home and we can't see each other, then the ego doesn't become a part of this. And we're able to actually really do the self-care and do what's right for our bodies. So that's really important. And that's my husband. He said, if you haven't already subscribe to the bottom of the screen that you see. There's a red button. If it's red, you haven't subscribed yet. So subscribe. And if you like it, thumbs up. And of course, any comments or suggestions are welcome. And also, I am going to, on my YouTube channel, Debbie Robinson Yoga, I do have a recipe up already for jamu. And then we're putting up some soup recipes. I did 2 soups yesterday. And then I'm also doing turmeric paste. So for golden milk, really great for inflammation. And I'm looking at PubMed research articles on turmeric. And it's pretty interesting because they actually have had some significant findings from the effectiveness of turmeric, especially for reducing inflammation and in particular the knees. I don't know if that's why, if they were studying the knees for arthritis. And also they're looking at it for kidney, for people with kidney issues. So golden milk can be really very calming, soothing. And so I'm going to put up 3 different versions, I believe, of the turmeric. And then a couple of other recipes as well. And then I'll do a lot more yoga videos, like how to, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute videos. So great, Michael. So glad that you're here. And Michael, I was thinking about you today when we were doing the block between our knees. And I don't even remember what your low back issues are, but just really great to stabilize and strengthen the muscles. So there was a lot today that would strengthen the spine and hopefully unwind any dysfunctional patterns in the spine. That was an intention for me today as well. In addition, of course, to strong work to give that stimulation to the bones, to lay down more bone. Carolyn, so great to have you. Christine, thank you. Jeannie, oh yay, you're here. Carol, my cooking classes should be up today, I'm pretty sure, because Scott's working on the final details. And then Cindy and Shannon, yeah, thank you. Vi, yeah, so really thank you so much. My husband said later today. He's been really working hard. I feel like I'm living with my producer / manager / husband. And he's cracking that whip. Get me this, get me that. It's like, okay. So anyway, thank you so much. Any suggestions? I love getting your emails so that you communicate with me, and I love to hear what's going on with you all. And so I love that. And yeah, join me tomorrow. I'm teaching yoga for wellness, 9:30 to 10:45. A lot of back care and core and torso work there. And then the second class, yoga therapy for improved posture and alignment. And I focus on postural aspects, balance aspects, and a lot of spine. And yeah, so I kind of put on a different intention for each class. So have a beautiful day today.
Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. All right, or whenever I see you. Take care, be well, stay safe, and isolate.